And act, don't you get salty about this, okay? Because you was on Everyday Struggle saying what you want to say, and on your Twitch saying what you want to say. So don't get upset. You said Tekashi spun me around like a ballerina. So don't get upset when I say Tekashi took you to the Dominican Republic to get your body done. Okay?
Hey, that's funny. That's what. And by the way, I'm just putting it out there. Charlamagne is a legend. I do love Charlamagne. Do I defer to him for every opinion or his advice on how I move on everything these days? No. Do I have anything negative? I still watch his shit and I still root for him because Charlamagne is a fucking legend. And I would never go at like a legend like that. Only time I had any issue was like I felt he was trying to make it seem like I was in a position that I was in when a couple months before he was saying the opposite thing. This whole thing where, and I think that's where I took offense. So the Desus and Mero thing, right? I saw him kind of jump in and he was sarcastically like, oh, Akademiks is the victim. I'm like, stop acting like, please stop. Like, I know those guys are your mans, and I think it was further proven because it felt like he threw DJ Envy under the bus for his mans, those two guys, the comedian guys on Vice. But I know it's your mans, but don't try to, like, kind of subtly play me while being sarcastic with it. Nah, I'm not into that. I'm not into that. That's not cool. And the reason why I said I'm not into that, I said those guys are trying to do this for real estate on digital. Yes, they might be good on TV, but they're trying to do that. My name is a fucking beaten stick for digital, and when you kind of like fucking give them the alley-oop and kind of propel it, I was really trying to, after that couple, I had a couple back and forth tweets, but I was done with it. You feel me? And I felt he kept trying to egg it on, not in my favor, because he knows it helps his guys. It's his guys. Let's be clear what it is. Now, that to the side, it followed up with moments after, or like a week after. Remember the Joe thing happened, right? He starts saying on his podcast and other outlets that I turned down a deal with Revolt. I want you guys to go ask Joe Budden today if he signed to Revolt for $5 million, as a lot of people were saying. So that was my whole point. Charlamagne knows as a guy who has never ever had the audience decide his Breakfast Club fate, and he's renegotiated multiple times with the Breakfast Club. You don't ask the audience to tell you if you're doing the right thing or if you should get your own show and leave the other guys in the dust. No, you do it yourself with your lawyers and probably your family. But when it came to my situation, it felt like you maybe had ulterior motives when you were kind of trying to push forth a false narrative that I need to sign with Revolt. By the way, Revolt has never offered me anything. Never. They never looked at me and said, hey, here's the deal. Are you going to take it? No. We could talk hypotheticals all we want. I have a lawyer right now who is talking to Complex. And they know, I seen Complex, because I was at the building today. Seen Complex lawyer, I seen the bosses for Complex, and they all know we could smile, we could, dap it up, but nothing really gets done with me anymore. I'm not a rookie anymore without my lawyers. So when he was saying, oh, Act turned it down, that was completely false. And what narrative that furthered on the internet for me, or not for me, but for everyone, was that Akademiks is some house Negro and a dumbass that Joe has left and gotten $5 million from Revolt, and Ak is so like, yes, massa, that he doesn't want to leave. When the $5 million was never true, Joe having a deal, never true, me officially being offered a deal, never true, and the same respect that I offered him in terms of, you see how Tekashi just said some shit? I texted him personally and I said, I didn't tell Tekashi that. The same truth you know is what I know. And I would never get it in the public and say differently because I like to keep it the same way in the public as I do in the private. So at that point, I realized, or I felt like he might have ulterior motives. What those motives might be, I looked at it and I said, well, of course, if the show went along, he could be the executive producer. Maybe this is a way how to kind of publicly force me to say, fuck Complex, even though we haven't started dealing or even there's no official conversation with Revolt. You say, fuck Complex, I'm leaving. I'm just going to hope something works out Revolt, even though they haven't even reached out. But because you could possibly set up something as you're the executive producer, And now you force me because now the internet's like, yo, Akademiks dumb. He just want to be on Twitch. He just want to be sipping Henny. He don't want the money. Again, look months later, what has materialized? And that's what that's at that point I say, you know what? I think these conversations with me, when it comes to my career, needs to be had with my family, the people who depend on me, and also with the people like my lawyer, manager, and whoever else that are in my best interest. Never had anything against Charlamagne. Charlamagne is tremendously talented. He's like, I look at him for moves he's made, and I admire them, and I aspire to do a lot of those things, including writing a book, including having late night shows. Those are amazing things. And that's why even when I discussed the topic of Tekashi claiming that he didn't know Charlamagne, I said, that's bullshit. This nigga is fucking huge. Would never belittle Charlamagne in that manner. But I do know, you know what I mean, for me, I'm learning this industry shit, and I know some of y'all might be like, whatever. That's why I've kind of like adjusted to this trolling shit a little bit more. Because I used to take everything that came out of niggas' mouths as so fucking serious that it would really piss me off. That's why now when Charlamagne can say, yo, acted, blah, 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 like, yo, you in the pool, like, I could complete jokes, I get it, not mad at it at all. And I could start taking jokes, because I used to really fucking like, yo, how could he say this? Like, you're going to have people think of me in a way that's not true. To the point that I realized, yo, you just can't protect your image completely. Like, bro, you're at the point, there's going to be dirt. And however it is, you can't fight with the other pigs if you ain't expecting to roll in the mud. And I've learned that. I've accepted that. And that's why, you know what I mean, I could laugh at Tekashi going up there and doing whatever and still not have anything against Charlamagne. If anyone says me and Charlamagne have a beef, that is not true. We texted about it. He said, I don't have a problem with you. By the way, there's no beef on my side. I said, dog, there's no beef on my side either. And Charlamagne, I will always give him the respect. He was a mentor of mine. He gave me a lot of jewels when I was on the road coming up. I do think it's at a certain point where I do think career moves, he might not be the best person to ask for advice, because, again, it's cool when you're in AAA baseball asking a major leaguer for advice. And I'm not trying to give an ego thing or act like I'm too big or anything. And it's cool when the person playing elementary basketball is asking LeBron for advice. Probably a little bit different if you're also in the league, and I'm not saying you're the fucking MVP, but you trying to put up some points yourself. Okay? And that's all I would say. So if anybody said me and him are beefing, by the way, well, actually, I really don't give a fuck if I say we're beefing, because that's like fucking, it's like, these days it's all about trolling and clickbait. Fuck it, we beefing, I don't know. But I have nothing against him, and I have the utmost respect for him, but I will correct him. And I will challenge him. And some of you guys might see this as kind of new, but if Charlamagne is to be honest with himself, I have challenged him a lot of times when we used to talk privately. Like, me and him, I remember the Dame Dash interview. Me and him, we talked for hours and days about it. And I challenged him about a lot of stuff with that, because I could see a lot of stuff what Dame Dash was talking about, because I'm a guy who came up from YouTube and I own everything I have. So it resonated with me, some of the things Dame Dash was saying. Maybe not all the methods, but a lot of stuff he said resonated. And Charlamagne has his own opinion because of where he came from. And we have that back and forth. And again, it's always respectful. It's going to be joking in between. Like, we're not fucking dry personalities. He's going to have his jokes of me. I'm going to have my jokes of him. You know what I mean? I've kind of refrained from certain type of jokes just because, like, you know what I mean? I do look up to these people. But, like, I kind of feel like we could do it playfully, but it's not on some shit like we hate each other. So that's just all I wanted to say. I heard this and I was like, oh man, I can't wait to respond to it. If it was anyone else but Charlamagne, I would not be fucking giving them this time. And if I didn't have the utmost respect for him, I wouldn't be doing it. And also, if I didn't disagree as much as I did, I probably wouldn't be doing it. So I hope you guys take all that into account. And that's it. I don't think they said anything else, even though I not even through half the podcast. But I do have to go. I'm about to record a hit in the studio, bro. Let me see.
Let's pay some bills.
Just take a guess. Hollywood likes to act like they're this
going on TV now, right? Other reality stars. I'm going for
Yo. Ability of the.
Okay, so it looks like that was the only part. So I just had to get that out. And whatever you guys take from it, just please take that we're having a dialogue publicly, but please don't take that we're beefing. Okay? Or actually, no. Please take that we're beefing, because that's more clickbait. We beefing. We beef. Fuck it, we beefing. All right, guys, I love y'all so much. I was going to stream tonight, but I can't stream. I literally have to go to the studio right about now. I'm about to record a song. I'm going to record songs again tomorrow. I have a music video shoot tomorrow, Saturday. And after that, pretty much, I'll be back to my regular streaming schedule, okay? But if you guys didn't get the announcement, Everyday Struggle has taken a mid-season break for reasons that I'll probably be able to explain later on, maybe not now. But we're on a mid-season break for a couple of weeks, which, again, puts me more back in focus with my content, my streams, you guys, my chat niggas, and I'm not fucking torn a million different directions. Plus, I have a couple other shows that I'm working on as well. Okay, so I just want to get over here and do all that, but still say thank you to y'all. I'm getting out of here, and if y'all do have any questions or if there was inconsistencies in what I said, shit, fuck it. Destroy me in the comment section on YouTube. Okay, all right, I'm out.